Hey, David Weigand with Brett Parker here, 10-minute daily reality check. Oh, that's wrong. That's the wrong music. What is the Ghostbusters song, right? What is the, do you know the?
Who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call? So we got a new thing. Whenever you get stressed out and you want to just ghost from your life and disappear, who are you going to call? Stressbusters. Man, handling stress. How do you handle stress on a day-to-day basis? Can you handle your stress on a day-to-day basis? Do you stay stressed out on a day-to-day basis? Is your life extremely stressed and you're used to stress on a day-to-day basis? There's so many different questions that I can ask about stress. Me personally, I hate it. I shut down. Can't stand it. I don't do well. There are some people that do really, really well. We were talking about Tom Brady the other day. Tom Brady looks like somebody who likes to stay stressed all the time. Because as an athlete, it probably fuels him to know that there's younger, better people out there, but yet he still, every single day, wakes up and tries to, I guess, probably works his stress to his advantage. Bill Belichick, during a football game, looks so stressed out half the game and pissed off and angry, but yet it seems to work great for him. He seems to turn the stress into anger and motivation. To me, when I get really stressed out, I loop. I'll drive myself nuts. I'll drive my friends nuts. Thank God they listen to me still. I mean, I'll call them up and you're ready for conversation, part 3 of the same conversation we had yesterday, but I have one more thing to add. And I love my friends for it because I'll also do the same thing for them. I'll listen to them endlessly, and that's what friends are for. That's another song. That's what friends are for. That was from the movie Night Shift. So we're going back into 80s comedies. Stress sucks. I feel it in my stomach. I feel it when I get nauseous. I feel it in my body. I have trouble working out when I'm stressed. I'll definitely get some panic in my chest. I'm not at my creative genius, which means I'm not at my highest functioning work-wise because my work takes a lot of creative energy. I can still coach people when I'm stressed out. That's always interesting. I've got no problem coaching somebody and focusing in on them because I can focus on things when I'm stressed out. I just don't like to sit in my stress. So I have found that stretching really helps me when I'm stressed out. Talking really helps me when I'm stressed out. Podcasting helps me when I'm stressed out. I might just podcast about things that I'm feeling stressed about, so maybe I can relate to you better and I can help you through your stress. Writing helps me. Amazing. I mean, there's so much of my writing that I do that I never post anywhere. If you're interested, I would be willing to share it for a huge price, $1 million, okay? Or as Gold, what's his name, said, $1 million.
Dr. Evil?
Yeah, Dr. Evil, right? So I do that. I mean, I've got probably a vortex on my computer full of stressed out writing that helps me heal. I dictate my stuff, so I'm talking. To me, talking alleviates my stress. If I can have a conversation with a friend right at the beginning of stress, I feel better. If I'm starting to stress or I bring something up a couple of times, something that bugs me, I'm realizing that that thing that was said to me or done or whatever it might be is causing me stress, and I start to realize I'm not feeling good about something that somebody might have said to me or might have happened or whatever it might be. So I am definitely a communicator, sometimes an over-communicator. I tend to be a little unfiltered, and sometimes I will say things that, take me back, right? Now I'm putting Rocky in there, right? So I want to sometimes take back something that I said. I try not to hit below the belt when I'm stressed out and, somebody is causing me, I'm being caused stress from my actions or, with somebody else, right? I try not to hit below the belt because that's what my mother did. And I'm just a work in progress at all times. What about you, Brett? What about you with stress?
Well, I'm somebody who, I like a little pressure, right? If there's no pressure, I'm probably not doing anything. So I like a little pressure. Pressure motivates me. That being said, stress is something else. Stress is when pressure gets out of hand, right? So, and I used to be a runner. I used to run like, not a lot, 3-4 miles a day, but it really relieved my stress. Well, now with, 2 knee surgeries, I can't run anymore. The last time that I had really big time stress was, when I got divorced. And it was the kind of stress where it's like, okay, the shit's at an 11 and I can't handle it. and I'm climbing the walls and I don't know what the hell to do. And I wanted to run and I couldn't run. And I discovered I lived down the street from a great yoga place in LA. And I started going every morning at 6 a.m. to this class that just kicked my ass. And it was like running, getting a massage, and meditating all at once. Like after an hour and a half, my head was so clear, I'd completely de-stressed. So for me, I know it sounds pretty new agey, but these days it's yoga and meditation.
You know, it's interesting. For me, it's foot massage, which I get on a regular basis. It's stretching. It's talking. It's always been talking. If I can talk through my stress, especially if I'm in a one-on-one personal relationship with somebody, if I could talk through things with them, that's fantastic. If I am not in a love relationship, then I've got my circle of friends, you and Greg and Larry and John and Obi and my brother, and I will circulate my stress. I will share it. I'm an equal opportunity stress sharer. Um, but I reciprocate. Like as much as, I might stress out towards you, with you and, and allow you to take it on. I also will take on your stress when you're stressed out, and I will listen. And that, look, we're all stressed. I mean, something we talked about in the podcast yesterday, the best 4-letter word in the English language is help. There's a reason why. And stress is all part of life. I mean, sometimes my daughter will stress me out, and I have learned, Layla and I have a pact. We just communicate about things, and it's funny. I said, Layla, whenever anything bothers you or we just talk. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk this out, and we're going to get this going, and we're going to work through these things. And I don't like to sit in it, because to me, I think the longer you sit in stress, that's when you start causing the cancer cells in your body to start to, I just believe that on a very holistic level. I think the longer you sit in stress, the more harm you do to your energetic inside, the more harm you do to on a cellular level.
Sure.
Because if I look at my mother died of liver cancer. Liver in the Chinese medicine and everything else is anger. Liver is anger. Stomach is emotions. Heart is something else. That each body part, I'm not fully educated on this, and I've had people tell me this, but each body part has something that you're associated with. So I know when I'm really upset, I could see it in the toilet. Not to be disgusting or anything, but my what comes out of my body is not healthy. Because I'm stressed out. I can feel it nausea. My mother kept so much anger inside from the way that her life played out that she passed away of liver cancer. She was angry, even though in the last couple of years in her life, she was starting to lose some of the anger, but it didn't really make a difference. So I believe that when we don't get it out and when we live a stressful life on a daily basis, it's doing things on a cellular level that is more harm than good. So to me, I always look at the people in my life. Who is in my life? From my love interest to my friends. Do these people bring me joy? Do they allow me to communicate and speak? Are they non-judgmental? Because we got to practice non-judgmental with everything, and that's what the biggest dysfunction between men and women are. It's like all of a sudden you get involved in a relationship with somebody, they practice non-judgment on you for a short period of time, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong, and then they judge you and they judge your behaviors, right? And we don't do that with our friends. Like we never call our friends, oh my God, you're just such a schizophrenic.
You're so selfish.
You're so selfish. What a narcissist you are, right? We never do that. We just support one another because we realize that we are human beings having a human experience, and we're on this planet for a certain amount of time, and we support one another. So stress is, to me, I don't want it. I don't like it. I'm not a high functioning person at it. So what I always tell people all the time, find what causes your stress and then find the solutions to alleviate the stress. If your life is really fanatic and you don't have much money at all, and you're alone and you're doing life alone and you really want to be with a partner, then I strongly suggest work on finding a partner, because nothing will change in your life. The stress is always going to remain the same. You'll probably make the same money. You'll probably be equally as stressed out. So your answer is find a partner that will help you on that journey of life, because we are meant to, and I really believe this, we are meant to be together. I think when I know There was an interesting article I read last week that our blood pressure goes down when we're in a loving relationship. Our blood pressure goes up when we're alone trying to get things done in life, when we're constantly frantic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally. Sorry. It's how you deal with stress, how you can get rid of it, how you can talk about it, how you can what releases it for you. If you want, there's a great quote from Einstein. He said, we can't solve our problems with the same thinking that created them, right? And it seems so simple and so smart at the same time. It's kind of like Yogi Berra, right? Yogi Berra and Einstein. But like, you got this problem that caused you stress, and so many times, and I do it myself, it's like, I'm just going to think harder. If I think harder, I'm going to solve it, right? If I do it faster, I'm going to fix it. But it's really, that's the message, is like, you've got to change it. You've got to switch it around. And that's what talking to your friends does. That's what, exercising or coaching, talking to a mentor. I mean, these are all things that give you a different point of view, because unless you're consciously aware, and there's nothing wrong with you if you're not, because mostly we're not. Unless you're consciously aware of another point of view, you're just going to stick with your own thoughts, and those thoughts are going to make you more stressed out, not less.
Or you're going to talk to a friend that's not even in. I always say all the time, when you go get advice from a friend, love advice, financial advice, health advice, whatever it is, make sure you're finding somebody that's healthier than you. Make sure if you're getting love advice, you're getting it from somebody who knows how to have a loving relationship. When you're getting health advice, make sure you're getting it from somebody who's healthier than you, not somebody who's overweight. When you're getting financial advice, make sure you're getting it from somebody who's more successful than you, because then you're getting real advice, not advice that they might have read. And it's so funny. It's like, women will tell me all the time, I'll coach them and go, well, my friend Mary agrees with me, and my friend Jane agrees with me. And I'm like, well, what's their relationship status like? Oh, it's so funny. Mary's like the most pissed off person about men. Exactly. Or the person that goes and asks the homeless person who's begging for money, hey, should I buy that house or should I sell my stocks? It's like, you got to look at who you're getting the advice from. You have to look at that person, because in times of stress, go to somebody who's been through what you've been through and came out the other way. Because the problem is, when we're stressed out, we're literally in the Lincoln Tunnel with in the movie, the book, The Stand, the Stephen King novel about the plague, there was a scene in there, and I remember reading it in the book, and remember how good Stephen King can mind fuck you to death, right? And he wrote about, they had to make it through the Lincoln Tunnel without getting killed by the zombies. And it was like 30 fucking harrowing pages of unbelievable mindfuck. Every time I turned the page, I was like, right? I had that feeling, and I was really stressed out by it. Stephen King's a master. Stephen King must be the most stressed out human being in the world to create the fucking scenario that he does, and he channels it that way. But when you're in the Lincoln Tunnel, and you're really, really stressed out, and you don't see an end to it, go to people who are wiser than you are. Lose the ego, drop the ego, forget about your friends, spend the money on coaching and therapy, and go to somebody, because within an hour you could be out of that Lincoln Tunnel, seeing things a lot clearer.
Totally.
Thanks for joining us. I'm now going to go back into my own Lincoln Tunnel right now. I heard there's no traffic right now. I'm going to roll the windows down, because I'm one of those idiots that rolls my windows down in the Lincoln Tunnel so I can breathe in the carbon monoxide and literally kill every cell in my single body. That I never understood at all. That we could have added to the Stupid People podcast we did back in Montauk. It's like people who roll their windows down in a fucking tunnel.
Special kind of dumb.
Special kind of dumb. Anyway, how do you handle your stress? David Wygant with Brett Parker. We're out.